afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another exciting and everything and amazing, spectacular, wondrous Propagandacast. I'm your host and Pearl Dane, the one, the only master of propaganda. Your lord and master, your king of kings, your vox populi. Off here to a 1v1 on Langraskaya. In the north it is Bulat, fighting for the Wehrmacht, Germany, Deutschland. Rolling out here with the, let's just go with Für Begleitbrigade. With Osttruppen doctrine featuring, Osttruppen, entrenching tools, artillery field officers, supply drops, and the railroads to support dominating Panfast. West and south it is Hireling, fighting for America, freedom, democracy, corporate interests, stuff like that. Anyways, taking on the role here of the 3rd Armored Division with heavy cavalry, airborne, and tactical support with triple infantry bullets on both sides. We got a double Osttruppen build here so far for Bulat, allowing him to swiftly seize points here, which is why most people go for Osttruppen. They're allowed to navigate the other typical issue for the round, which is usually behind on map control already, just because you have to build and then get stuff out. With the Osttruppen, you basically just get around that. Of course, they scale poorly, so you have to, of course, make sure to add in Pentagon as the match goes on. Otherwise, you're going to be in for a world of hurt, but, otherwise, you'll be in a pretty decent spot if you know what you're doing. Secure in the centre here with the rifle squad. Hireling there, striking hard, possibly at the Germans, the Krauts, the Nazis. It's eastern point here. Osttruppen moving up. In the far west, we got more Osttruppen in there for Bulat. Eastern point being seized here by the Pioniere. And we got a 3rd Osttruppen squad here for Bulat. And there you go, leaving himself wide open. Hireling goes straight for the jugular, straight for the throat. He strikes with a cry of democracy. Moving out the west side, he ground points as well. Though, of course, he's threatening his opponent's fuel point there. Still losing the access to his car points. Going to be hard there. Rifle squad quickly falling back. Obviously expecting to meet your German counterattack as German troops are scrambled to launch and push away the Americans from it once more. 3rd rifle squad there on the way for Hireling. Osttruppen has a rifle squad here up close. The riflemen easily have this covered. Like, there is no way the Osttruppen win that one. Not unless we're in some sort of weird alternate dimension where the Germans actually won the war. Anyways, rifle squad, let's press with the MD-42. We got Pioneers riding with the rifle squad in the east. We got a 4th Osttruppen squad. Now, that's pretty heavy on the Osttruppen here for Bulat. That is pretty damn heavy. Good golly. That's actually not something to see too often because that carries much more risk of you being bled out late game. Since again, the Osttruppen, while good in the early stages of the game, because again that's much more, shall I say, position based, with most just infantry. As the game goes on, like got tanks and all that, you need infantry to be like more maneuverable, and the Osttruppen aren't quite that. So even like machine guns, they tend to do quite poorly. So this is a bit of a gambit here, but Bulat versus Hireling, bit of a gamble. And could, I think, spectacularly backfire on Bulat here if he's not careful. Could backfire on him. In the east, we got troops moving up there. We got rifle squad, there's the Osttruppen there. More Osttruppen moving in, which allows the Osttruppen here to actually have a chance at not getting obliterated by the riflemen. Even then, they will pay a high price for beating that one squad of riflemen, these defenders of freedom and liberty. Riflemen back here in the west, reactions moving up there. Even though Osttruppen retreating backwards, we got no tech yet here for Bulat. Definitely should be a priority. We do have the tech here for Hireling. Lieutenant being ordered forward to the front line to lead the men to victory against the Nazis. Rifle moving up out here, we got the infantry to move towards the centre, skirmishing there. Osttruppen drops dead, MG42 setting up. Rifle squad falling back, and there we go out in the open, Grand Western Point. Tech there on the way. Halfway done. Grand Western Points, very good, very good. Rifle squad moving in. Pretty hard push here by Bulat on the carve point. They're getting counter-flanked here by Hireling, already hissing through Bulat's scheme. There we go, narrowly defending the carve point. And we got an Osttruppen tank here, so Bulat's spearhead assault here using an Osttruppen MD-42 is already encountering some rather spectacular issues here. Possibly to see a small wipe here on Bulat with a bit of bad luck, but no. Fortune favours Bulat, at least partially here. We've got Osttruppen moving, but again without cover, they're not going to be able to hit the broadside of a barn from the inside. Like to make a nice copy, so he's got the tech there for Bulat. We're probably seeing either some armoured cars or flamethrower to put pressure on Hireling's forces as he once more strikes forward for freedom and democracy. Osttruppen in full retreat here for Bulat. West side, we got coming up, mine troops in hand. Like to make a nice company almost on Osttruppen westwards. In the centre, got rifle squad ground the point team. They got movement up here towards the eastern field point. Armoured convoy for Bulat. The like to punch spearwagon here for the Für Begleitbrigade. MD4 setting up there. Traveling eastwards. Troops reinforcing. Armoured car halfway done. Grabbing the point there. Using the point there. And we got mechanized command post. Hireling is going to be pushed straight first to a light tank. He's not even going for 50 cal. He's not right away. Though he can go for it once it's done. Because, well, he's not going to have the resource of the Stuart light tank anyways on the spot. So having a 50 cal is going to be quite handy here. Armored Karat. Bulat, of course, will be needing a Pack 40 very soon here versus Hireling. Vega Rifle Squad retreating. Pushing up west for the Osttruppen there. Armored car Osttruppen eastwards. This large combat patrol there from Bulat to flash out some armies from this viewpoint. Rifle Squad quickly retreating, realizing they forgot their anti-tank grenades back at home. Gosh darn it, Joe. You brought us socks rather than anti-tank rifle grenades. Oh, Joe. Look, Lewis is dead. We didn't like him anyways. We may suspect he was a communist. Anyways, there's nothing wrong with the armored cars. Using some fuel point here. Rifle Squad around the Osttruppen in the west. Nothing further going there for Bulat. Still light tank is from him for Hireling, but he's definitely not bothering with anything but the Stuart. Like, he's not even going for 50 cals. Which again you'd figure he'd do, so he must have some other plan for some of the spare manpower. At which point either paratroopers or rangers seems very likely as to what his Hireling is planning there. But he's still not going for the Stuart despite not he's having the resource. There you go. Bit occupied with the front line. Does happen to even the best of players. Armored car putting back the Rifle Squad there. We got the Osman's Rifle Squad here on the flank. Big push here as well versus Bulat there. Stuart light tank slowly approaching. Yeah, I'm definitely getting the impressions I want. Oh, he's going for them as well. Again, like either heavy cavalry with rangers or airborne with paratroopers. Though I think that's the only way that makes sense. He's floating so much manpower instead of going for 50 caliber. It's because he wants some elite infantry, and certainly there's an opponent with a lot of Osttruppen. Getting some elite infantry out is a very strong idea since the Osttruppen scaled poorly versus elite infantry. So he has the command points, he has the manpower, and there you go. We do get airborne, in which case he's going to be calling in those paratroopers any moment now. There we go. Screaming Eagles inbound. The 101st going in on the fuel point, it seems, I guess. It does, can be the only way like it makes sense that applying the aircraft of path it's taking there. Baker Squad going down. Check for squirrels. And we're still pushing back the Osttruppen there. And can of course upgrade right away. He's probably going to go for the Brownings, but personally I do like the Thompsons. They really pack a punch, in particular with tactical assault, which is basically any infantry that has tactical assault is really good for them to use it correctly. Of course, it is a skill requiring ability, so a lot of players don't bother with it. Well, anyways, got the Brownings on the way there for the paratroops, hitting on the fuel pond there. Ralph Lieutenant up to link up with them. Back here, troops enforcing healing. Stuart Light Tank there took a hit with a Panzerfaust. More still moving in. Back here, we got the Pack 40 almost done there for Bulat. And Deutschland, die Führerbig Leitbrigade. Turn here is the Pioneers. Armored coming in before going for the paratroopers. They need to retreat, but at least he's still slowed down the fueling count of his opponent, though he really should just retreat now rather than trying to buy time there, I think. Troops enforcing, Stuart there, good to go once more. And the paratroopers are stubbornly sticking around. I'm not entirely sure why he's doing it like that. I guess he wasn't paying attention. Maybe he had some sort of idea and then realized, hang on, that idea is bad. I mean, sometimes that happens. Like, you get this very specific idea to your head, and suddenly then you realize, hang on, I've been working on a flawed premise. That premise being, I thought this plan was actually good. Holy smokes, that's really lucky there for Hireling. His Stuart light tank is barely operable. I'm fairly certain the entire inside is just filled with smoke at the moment. From the Osttruppen in the centre west, I've got Rifle coming up. They need to finish fuel point though. Lieutenant Rifle putting back the Osttruppen there. A lot of back and forth here so far. Paratroop enforcing healing. And we got here. Oh, Bulat was actually taking up there, but apparently decided not to. Reasons pressing the Osttruppen even with a mine, but they can still lay down enough firepower. And there you go. Bulat biting the bullet and calling in some Panzergrenadier. So again, it's becoming quite obvious the Osttruppen are not going to be able to deal with half of the stuff that Hireling is on the field, in particular not the paratroopers. At that point, you might as well just, rely on 11-year-olds to do the job, and they're not going to do the job either.
Enemy forces are securing our territory. We have been
going for the car phone there. Panzergrenadier out there for Bulat. There's the Osttruppen there. Ralph Squad was the armoured car, and we got another paratroop squad. Now, this is Hireling getting pretty aggressive. calling in double paratroopers there. He's going really elite here. 5 squad here. Oh, yeah, he's exploring here. There's a slight gap there, so the Indy-42 can't really hit well on its far flanks there. It actually has a delay there. In this case, it was not as much, perhaps, but sometimes it can really take forever to like target something on the far flank. So there you go. You can grab the fuel point here, wait from Bulat once more. Second paratroop squad ready. Probably going to go for more Brownings, but again, having one squad with Thompson would be great, since if we say flank the unit in Osttruppen squad and then hit tactical assault, he could probably just annihilate it. Wipe it from the face of this very earth. For some reason, the paratroopers are taking forever to just like realize something's going on there. Hey guys, I think the Germans are shooting at us. No, it can't be. I think so. They just killed Lewis. Oh. That's definitely one of those small annoying little, I call them glitches there that sort of have, like, sometimes you sort of, like, you know, forever before unit reacts to something like that, despite it should be pretty obvious they need to react now. Punch been caught with the third light tank. Riding them. Ralph's caught here. Graham needs some fuel point, denying it to Bulat. He's might want to up again, taking up there. Back in Hireling space, I'm going to take there. No weapon max either. Still light tank, but those punts are going to deal with success. Thumbs up there to Hireling. Reasons to saying that in the center here. Yeah, the map is definitely changing hands a lot of the time in a lot of places. There's like just so much action going in, there's so much maneuver. Alright, we do get paratroopers with the Thompson as well. 2 thumbs up to Hireling. Again, I feel like this upgrade particularly gets overlooked, but again, it's so powerful if you know just how to use it properly, because the Thompson effect in terms of like end-game stats, I'm saying this end-game stats, so don't someone ask me like, was the Thompson really better than the assault rifle in the one? No, it wasn't, but in-game stat-wise, it is for some reason better than the Sturmgewehr 44 in a lot of ways, which means its tactical assault ability bonus is even better. It's just silly. But yeah, it's really, really good. There's also something rad. We got a big push here by Hireling. And again, this creates a challenge for Bulat, because again, the Osttruppen do not handle elite infantry well. I mean, the hell, they don't handle basic upgraded infantry particularly well. Paratroopers with brand up machine guns or Thompson submachine guns is just worse. So, right now, things getting a bit more dicey for Bulat. He's at least taking up, though. That's very good for him. Hireling, though, is still some way from taking, because again, the good field harassment there by Bulat versus Hireling. So, light tank's almost good to go again. We got the punch pushing forwards, but they are taking too much fire here from Hireling's paratroopers, and they can't get close enough to pop a grenade without, taking significant casualties. Awesome, they could be cleared out, maybe. Grab the fuel point back here once more for freedom and democracy. Can build the support core now. Ground point here in the west. We got 2 Osttruppen squads with the paratroopers, and of course out in the open, the Osttruppen again cannot hit. And then you can see the paratroopers just walk up, and it's like, a Hollywood movie. They just start dropping like sacks of wheat from the 5th floor of a granary. Or whatever, like, they're just melting them. It's like, pew pew. Just walked up and wiped out the Osttruppen. And they barely, like, they maybe lost 1 guy against, like, 15, 16 Osttruppen. So yeah, that sort of again highlights one of the ways the Osttruppen just don't do well against elite troops. Like, they can't hit them at all, so when they're out in the open, and they just like take so much damage from them. So Bulat's gonna have to go for more panzers and offs here soon, because again the Osttruppen are not gonna be doing the work there. He's not going for tier 4 at least, but he needs to build that spawn. Could get out some panzers soon here, otherwise he's really gonna suffer from Hireling's attacks and his elite troops. Back here, we got take up there for Hireling. Thumbs up. Thumbs up. Ralph's coming up. And we're blazing into the lieutenant in the building.
Enemy forces are securing our territory.
Ralph's got the point there. So now both fuel under control of Hireling. This is a definite problem for Hireling. He's of Bulat. He's found in the support core. Can soon go for the Panda 4. And of course, in this regard, Hireling is exposed, but only to a degree because he is airborne. He can just call in a tank gun. So it's not like he's completely caught in a bad place.
The enemy is attempting to steal our sector.
Also on the ground on the western point. There we go. Panda 1 for Bulat. Major sitting out there for Hireling. Panda on the way for Bulat. Armored car there for close to 3. Base level there is almost at it. Very good there for Bulat. Good preservation of the armored car. Telemancer from Bulat is a very good thing there. Punishing up least in the field point. Hireling can theoretically soonish go for a Sherman here. That still will take some time. Feel like he shouldn't have 2 units out of this building. There we go, pushing eastwards. Paratroopers have been basically remaining there to form up a minor improvised machine gun nest there. Plans to engage with the Stuart light tank. Got some support from the west side from the paratroopers. Good from the pack from the Stuart light tank. Osttruppen trying to push out, but they're just getting blasted by the paratroopers. The light machine guns making short work of the Osttruppen. Very short work of them. Pack advancing past from the center there. In the west, paratroopers are going to be routed with ease. But there you go, Panther 4 strikes, and the paratrooper squad gets annihilated. He stuck around there for too long, and Bulat punished him for it beautifully. A big blow there to Hireling. Losing a paratrooper squad with top Brownings is quite expensive. Plus again, you're just crucial as all these Osttruppen. Anyways, anti-tank away there for Hireling, since he's still away some time there from any tanks. I'm still surprised he didn't do anything about the pun using his fuel point. That should have been a pretty easy deal to clear out. Still, he's got a big 2-point lead. He certainly has most of the map now. And if we can soon get out a tank or a tank destroyer, he certainly shouldn't be in a poor spot versus Bulat at all. But right now, Bulat needs to swing that Panda 4 like his life depended on it. Entertaining their recruit by Hireling's men, very good. Armor coming ahead. Another pack 4 there for Bulat. Paratroopers plans moving up. Bit of support from the Osttruppen again. They're not in covers. Again, they're not hitting a lot here. Now close to the paratroopers just make absolutely short work of the Pentagonist. In fact, he could pop tactical assault here. He doesn't, which of course is to the great luck of the Pentagonist. Otherwise, I'm fairly certain they would have been wiped there. So again, Bulat really needs to get those Osttruppen into cover. Like, he keeps hitting that too much. Got the anti-tank and they're ready. Pack 4 number 2 ready also for Bulat. He's got plenty of munitions by the way. Could consider laying down some mines here versus Hireling. Could consider laying down some mines here and there. Osttruppen rifle squad here. That's going to be a win for the riflemen without a moment's hesitation. Panther 4 halfway to veteran 2-1. Stood on the Osttruppen. Panther takes it from the N1 anti-tank gun. Very nice. Rifle squad was the armored car. MD-42 personal rifle squad in the center. Very good. Armored car with a damaged engine. Minor hit there for Bulat. 20 kills. That's really been doing some great work there against Hireling's forces. Hireling can now go for the Sherman. He can also go for the Jackson in a few moments. He probably wants to go for the Jackson with the Panther 4 about there. Probably expecting more on, in which case having the Jackson sort of with good range is going to be a bit of a nuisance there. Also, he really should go for some artillery. Similarly, Bulat would also benefit from it, but I think in particular Hireling would benefit stronger from, say, a mortar, a Scott here perhaps, or pack house at least, versus all these anti-tanks and whatnot. Going for the Jackson. Got artillery called in there by the Major at least, on the MG-42 position, under Bulat's command, of the Field Big Light Brigade. One of 2 brigades formed up with the troops from the station around the Wolfschanze after it was disbanded. There's Wolfschanze, and basically stock use is still like the Fuhrer's headquarters at the front line. At which point there were a lot of security troops basically disbanded and, you know, formed into their military units. A mix of things from either troops from the Großdeutschland or basically the predecessor to the Volkssturm, the Landsturm. And for fun fact, for those I'm sure you were, there was a predecessor to the Volkssturm, and yes there was. There was the Landsturm. It was also a similar militia unit. Also largely composed of older men, but with at least some training and, you know, slightly decent equipment. So, little fun fact there. Little fun fact there. Panzer's ground western point, eastern point, so we can see for the echelons and the Major. Jackson almost on there for Hireling. For America, Freedom, Democracy, grenade off from the paratroopers. Does a little bit of damage there. Turner being suppressed in the MB-52. Armor car continues to blast away, and there you go. We got the Jackson tank destroyer striking hard for democracy. Turn suppressed and intended by the MD-42, halfway to the ace level. Versions of the rest of the Osttruppen in the east.
Our opponents are seizing a sector.
And pushed away. Bomb ground western point.
The enemy has driven a wedge in our lines.
Paratroopers the Ost in the center of coming to support.
Railway artillery primed and loaded.
Got railways one already here for Bulat for the German army. Panther 4 sitting out. MD-4 close to the east. We've got Rifle 1 from the Panther 4, halfway done with the machine gun there. Bit of sunfire there. We got anything sitting up ready as well there. It should pop take aim as well. Bah, gets well behind the building, doesn't matter. We got artillery support called in here though. The railway artillery on the anti-tank position here. Hireling there realised it's gone perhaps a bit too late. And will it be soon enough? Gets out of there. Yes. They probably get the steward out of the expected area of annihilation. Oh, bowls, perhaps? Yep, paratrooper squad annihilated. So yeah, that's one less issue for the Osttruppen. Or anyone else that's, you know, German. Panzer pushing forward here, close to T2 there against the Rifle squads. Pretty good in the hit, there we go. Rifle squad routed it. Panther force on the out, armoured coming running for prone support here. Got the M1 entering, they're landing a good hit here. Still we got mostly map control here for Hireling versus Bulat. More Pioneers ready. Hireling could again soon go for Sherman. Could also go for another Jackson. I still think he should at least go for a mortar here. Though again, Scott could also be a great choice, but he definitely needs some sort of artillery here versus Bulat's positions. And Bulat, similarly though, I think would also perform quite well with some artillery here of his own. Ooh, got the Steward. That's a definite win there for Bulat. That's a definite win. And a definite prom there for Hireling. Here's the link last hits a bit for the Panther. We got 16 kills, veterans 1 there, and we got a 50 kill on the way there for Hireling. The Mardus being dropped from above. Pioneers vs Rifle squad. That's unsurprisingly a one-sided engagement. Panther landing some nice hits there, 3 kills. Pack shoots, misses the Jackson. Jackson takes a small hit. Package was reinforcing healing. Anti-tank being hauled back. Got the Jackson in the way there for Hireling.
Frontline units are being hung out to dry. Scout car awaiting orders. Ready.
Fixing up the Jackson. Almost got it. Panzer moving out there. Sherman halfway done there for Hireling.
The enemy is overrunning one of our capture points.
Fixing up the Panzer 4. Trench up the center from Bulat. Returning fortressing hits her from the machine gun. Oh, big 50 caliber founder up for Hireling. Very good for him, very good. Awesome in the trench. Machine gun coming fire there. Close to veterans 1, still got some way to go. Rifle squad takes his chanting hit from the Panther Force. Bulat! Oh, Hireling's head on assault is not, I would say, a particularly well planned out one. I mean, there's no artillery report really calling except for the one by the Major, but I've seen no smoke screens, nothing. Just like head on attack, hoping the Germans like got nothing to deal with them. Which seems, a bit awfully optimistic. Bit awfully optimistic. Also, Martin the Trench got 192 versus 380. Bulat here could go for Stuk. He could also sail for an Osttruppen. Of course, more likely just go for another Panther 4. We do have the Sherman out for Hireling, but worth noting, we still don't have any artillery on the field directly. It's all off map so far, either from the Major or the railway artillery support. Definitely feel like we could do with some actual artillery there, though. Stuart's Sherman takes the hits from the Pack 40s. Ultra upon land control of the German army. Ralph got on the west side. Bit of quiet otherwise. Bulat basically got the sort of main road locked down with infantry, anti-tank guns and tanks, making it very difficult for Hireling to just like make a head-on crossing. Not impossible of course, but without any support down here, in particular, it's going to be very tough and very painful. So we'll have to see what he does. We shall have to see what he does. Time to fold open the raft, go up by the western victory point. East side could be maybe an opening for attack by Hireling, or again a deep flank from the west could also work out. But I definitely feel like it's going to keep a tank on here. Definitely needs artillery to lay down smoke screens to minimise the incoming fire and effectively suppress some of the Bulat stuff. There's a far Hireling does not seem particularly interested in that. Rod's got push for the Osttruppen in the west. Anti-tank flying away there. Better than the Panther 4 there. So the fire called in on the centre, really bounced out. There's a bit of a mistake there with Bulat, to be honest. Obviously, still gets away then. Again, Mortis I think would do more good, but anytime they finally got a breakthrough here, partly due to the distracted course by the artillery in the centre. Sham got the Panther down to half health, Anton backing up as well. Needs him to support the deal with the anti-tank, and 5th Cup can maybe deal with it. Panther 4, they're getting eventually to the assault here, is bogging down though for Hireling. The 10 in there. Jackson didn't keep up. Anti-tank and also failed to keep up here. 5th Cup though dealing here with the Pack 40s at least a bit. He's somewhat, I would say, dislodged here, Bulat now from the centre, and certainly opened up a new path of attack. But the question is, can he actually maintain this? Entertain the Jackson moving up. We've got armor piercing rounds, should probably pop take aim as well. Really overlooked abilities by some American players, but again, increasing both line of sight and range, it is incredibly powerful. Jackson lands a good hit in the Panther 4, using the Shem to cut mines and then repairing the tank. Panther 4 down to, in fact, barely any health. Really should pop take aim to increase the chance of getting away. Didn't need it. I'll wait, got the Panther 4. Definitely blow there to Bulat. Definitely a win there for Hireling, but he's getting the anti-tank now. The 5th Corps need to retreat here. Pushing like too far here, I think, versus Bulat and the Germans. Keeps killing the 5th Corps, and MD4 took over the 5th Corps, but the 5th Corps is so low on health there. It's going to take like a few lucky shots, and the 5th Corps crew is dead. Which one's going to have a hard time getting out of there, but he seems ready to keep it there. Panther moving ahead here. Need to crew the Jackson. Got the 5th Corps out of there. Cost him an infantry squad there. But he almost got the Panther 4 there, actually. Good lord. Definitely exceeded my expectations there in the end. Good work by Hireling. Good work. Again, partly again just using the distraction then. Bulat overfocused in the centre. Opening up for a push through there. Smoking down here finally, but didn't save the ace anti-tank gun. That's going to suck for Hireling. Even if he gets the anti-tank gun back though, the loss of the ace crew there is actually really painful because that has a high rate of fire and crucially also higher penetration. So that's a really big blow there to Hireling. It's going to make it harder for him to deal with Bulat's tanks. Back in Bulat's space, we do have tier 4 there prepared to actually upgrade the Osttruppen light machine gun to so the size. So I imagine we're going to be seeing the heavy Panther squad, maybe a Panther here from him. Destroying the amount of tank gun, denying of course Hireling a chance to get back, making things worse. Since he's before, he could have maybe gotten away with it again, but now he has to like replace it. MD4-2 then a bit of exposed position on the east side. He gets fuel point back in the west. Bulat's Osttruppen strike once more. And there you go, more punch going to deal it, plus shipment for Hireling. Hauling more armor to the front line, thumbs up there. We got the major versus the Osttruppen, rough gold moving in. Jump Jackson fixed up. Surprisingly, we're not. Oh, there we go, heavy Panther up here for Bulat. We'll again have to see what it is, but I'd probably expect a Panther maybe, though Storm Panther could also work out for sure. But part of me probably expect a Panther. Ground center for the Osttruppen. Should actually lay down some sandbags. I'm surprised he hasn't bothered with sandbags there. He could also do something there. Panther on these round the echelons. 24 kills. Hey, Panther almost done there for Bulat, Germany, Deutschland. Panther on the way there for Bulat in Germany, Deutschland. With the Panzer of the Rifle Squad.
Tank support is here. Sherman ready.
Panzer Squad, they need to retreat. Last group of the Pioneers. Panther for holding back. Channeling up the eastern side. Taking a hit there from the Panther 4. Great hit there from Bulat's Panther 4. Panther almost down there for Bulat in Germany. Dodging. He got smoke here from Hireling. He's starting to suddenly remember he's got abilities. Thumbs up to that. The loss of the paratroopers is really showing us. And again, he's just not quite used to dealing with the Bulat's support weapons and infantry anymore. Got the reasons with the Panzer in the east. And we got them retreating in the east pretty quickly from the Panzer Grenadier. We got 145 to 92. Hireling still got a victory point leader. Bulat here, who's certainly pulling a bit behind. We got Rathbone in the centre versus the Panther moving up there. Pin up machine away for the Panzerkampfwagen 5. We got air support called in here to destroy any German armour in the centre. Rockets screeching at the Panther. Doing some nasty damage to the Panther, pushing it down to almost half health, but it does survive with some integrity. Sherman's pushing forward here under cover of the chaos from above. Needs to be careful of those attacks. Sherman, in fact, takes directly down health there. We got smoke straight down though. Could have had those down sooner in the first place, but oh well. More support here. Catching the Pioneers, the armoured come whatnot in a bit of a blaze of rockets. Need to get the tanks fixed up. Tanks, I imagine, is also being fixed up elsewhere. Yes, indeed. You might want to consider calling in some fresh paratroopers. We've been going for more armour. There you go. Another shown for Hireling. Plan for the can do some repairs. Armour car they're blazing with its auto cannon. Sherman firing away there. Motion down there. Quick strafe there again from the P-47. They're almost taking out the armored car and the Panther at the same time. That's some really good light there, supposed for light that didn't happen. Man, he'd been pretty upset if he just lost this two at the same time. Panther being repaired here, obviously prioritizing that one. I think that's very central there by Bulat. His mighty Panzerkampfwagen 5. Ra's going towards the Osttruppen in the centre. Got the Jackson, of course, keeping his gun ready in support there. And there goes another Sherman out here for Hireling. Putting a total of 3 Shermans in the Jackson. A lot of armour here with Blood. Grenades off, tearing through the echelons. Bodies torn limb from limb as high explosive impact tear them apart. Ra's 170 expressed with MB42. Veterans 1, the enclosure 2. Got the Panther moving up there. Shoots. From the eastern side, since they almost wiped out, of course, but still ground the victory point. We got 137 to 282. Well, I've scored fervently wishing it was somewhere else. Fervently wishing. More Panzers here for Black, really begin to bring in the assault infantry versus the Amerikanen. I think that's very good. Osttruppen are basically not being bothered to be upgraded here. With the light machine gun, probably doesn't think it's worth it. Or he's just forgotten he can. Also a possibility. Osttruppen just moving up there and can grab some of the points in the west while Hireling's really pushing up hard in the centre here. Big armoured assault here from the 3rd Armoured Division here in the east side. We got the Panther moving up there, close to the east level here. Very close to the east level. Good hit there. Good send us the Panther in the centre. Panther hanging back here, 2 kills. Sherman swarming in the Panther 4. Blitzkrieg here to try and get out of there fast. Sherman him with the armoured cars on its flank. Another hit there from the Pack 40s. And so we've got the punch with the Sherman. Sherman knocked out of the war, not good. Panther under half health. And there we go. Ace in the Panther 4, increasing rate of fire, increasing speed. Ground the centre victory on the Panzers. Western side they grab for the Osttruppen. We got 170 to 282. And we got Paratroopers finally calling for Hireling again. Panther trying for the centre straight at the Jackson. Bulat leads the charge with this Panzerkampfwagen 5. Paratroopers on the car on there. Red from the Pack 40 in the Sherman. Panther misses. Jackson does not. Jackson half health. Pack forwards moving up there. Jackson could be in a bit of trouble there if he gets spotted. Panzer goes down, definitely some heavy lifting for Bulat, though it does look like he did lose a squad here to Hireling. Jason, though, got cut down. Predators going for the Thompson there. Graham Lawson victory point back. 107 versus 269. Fighting continues to be brutal and unrelenting here. Brutal and unrelenting. Graham Neeson side here back from the Army Cannon. Fixing up tanks and tank destroyers. East Panzer IV proving to be a significant thorn here in Hireling's side as Bulat's pressing up the front line steadily. You got the Osttruppen the Rifle on the west. Comes with the Lieutenant. Bit of quiet there in some ways. I mean, there's some lighter scams, even though like major engagements here. Bulat is just steadily taking approach, and Hireling is rebuilding his forces, preparing for the next big approach against the Krauts. 30 kills in the armored car. He's really done quite well with that armored car, hasn't he?
We're losing a capture point.
Scott on the way to finally going for some artillery. Finally going for some artillery. Definitely feel like it's a bit late, and sadly Bulat never went for any. Definitely feel like both sides would have benefited significantly from at least a mortar or two. 5th cal calling there for Hireling. Another heavy machine gun team here to challenge the Krauts. Panther moving forwards here. Vengeance 1 gained. He's got the resource for another Panther, but he does not have the population for him. He can't even go for Stug, can he? Nope. He can't even go for Stug. A tragedy. Great hit on the Sherman from the Pack 40. Scott ready, Panther on the flank. Smoke fire here on the German positions, forcing the Packs away. Bazooka fire there, Panther there. Take a few hits, but also delivering them here. In the centre, got Predator forwards here, bunking off in the midst of the troop. Need to get the Panther to safety, jump the way up to the flank. Osttruppen could support there. Double light machine gun, needs to get the Panther. Why is he not pulling back the Panther? Oh, Bulat, you silly bastard. That was just a waste. The Predator's almost getting wiped out there, but that was just a waste of the Panther. He's going for another one, at least he could replace it then, I guess. But, you know, feel like that could have been handled just a bit better there by Bulat. Ace Panther moving up. Panther 4 moving in there with the Pack 40s in tow. Panzer pushing forward for the carve point. Infantry charging forwards here. Packs on from Jackson, almost got it. Rifle almost taken out as well here. Oh, Panzer is falling back in the centre. There you go. Jackson about to get knocked out. Good kill there by Bulat. Hireling is seemingly strong here with the rapid pace of Bulat. And just the pressure is applying here to Hireling. Infantry charging forwards. A blaze of glory that may just be snuffed out here by the Germans. They're definitely having none of that on their watch. What do you think this is? Fury? Piss off. Anyways, troops being murdered there. 43 kills in the Panzer IV. Panther almost down there for Bulat. Jumping up in the flank. Panther 4 half health. Almost got the Sherman. Down they go. Another Sherman down. Seems to be Bulat's victory now actually here. And there we go, GG, game over. A loss for freedom, democracy. A victory for the German army and Deutschland. So there you go, a nice little 1v1 here on Langraskaya. Hope you enjoyed this match. You've learned something from it. If you did, subscribe, like, share, comment on it, tell a friend, tell a family, but don't tell enemies. This is Imperial LinkedIn. Cheers. Thank you for watching. Hope you see you all tomorrow again for a nice episode. Bye.